I sabotaged my best friend's job interview at my company, and she has no idea. She still thinks the company just didn't hire her. And then subsequently, I'm the reason she lost her home. We've been best friends since we were 4. Met on the first day of school and never left each other's side since. People have always called us sisters, but let's be honest, in every sister duo there's always the star. The pretty one, the smart one, the golden one. And then there's the other one. I've always been the other one. She never did it on purpose. She's never been cruel. In fact, when people would gush about her beauty or her achievements and ignored me completely, she was the one who'd pull me back into the spotlight. She's amazing too, she'd say, but it never really worked. I've always lived in her shadow, quietly, bitterly. And then, finally, I had something that was mine. My job, my workplace, a space where nobody knew her, a place where I was the one people noticed. I was respected, and I felt enough. And then one day she walks into the office beaming. "Surprise," she says, "I'm interviewing here. Imagine if we worked together again." And I smiled. I smiled so hard my face hurt, but inside I was panicking. I was screaming because if she got that job, I'd vanish again. And I couldn't bear it. So I lied. I pulled my boss aside and I told him I knew her through friends of friends. I said she was trouble, that she partied too much, she wasn't reliable. And just like that, she didn't get the job. On my word. I told myself she'd be fine. She always lands on her feet, right? Except this time, she didn't. She didn't find another job in time. She lost her flat. She moved back in with her parents and she cried in my arms saying, "I don't know how this has happened. I've always worked so hard. Why won't anyone give me a chance?" And I said all the right things. I told her it was going to be okay, but inside I felt sick because I'd done this to her and it's eating me alive. The worst part is a tiny part of me is glad because she's not here and I still have my spotlight. And I know that makes me a horrible person, I do. She calls me every night now. Her tired voice, her quiet sobs, that small hopeful tremble in her tone as she asks if I've heard of any openings at my company or anywhere else. I tell her I'll keep an eye out. I lie. Again. She's staying in her childhood bedroom, the one with the pastel walls and the trophies still on the shelf. It's humiliating for her. She doesn't say it out loud, but I can feel it in the way her voice flinches when she talks about her parents watching her too closely, about the pitying stares from the old neighbours at the grocery store, about the silence that now fills the space where her life used to be. She's drowning, slowly, and I just watch. Not with joy. No, it's not joy, it's a terrible, gluttonous calm. Like I've been starving all my life and someone finally put a warm plate in front of me. Because for the first time since we were 4 years old, I'm not her shadow. I'm not the forgotten echo trailing behind her spotlight. I'm the architect of her downfall and she has no idea. I hate myself for it. And I also love myself for it. Because she's finally learning what the rest of us have always known. That the world isn't soft. That life doesn't always yield when you press. She's learning what it's like to be overlooked, to be dismissed, to feel small. She made it look so easy, being loved, being admired, but I've learned something she never had to. There's power in being the villain, and I wear that power like a crown she never got to try on. Let her stay in that childhood bedroom a little bit longer. Let her remember what it feels like to be small. Look, she's my best friend and I do love her. But I also needed her to fall. Because unlike the rest of us, she's never experienced the fall before and, well, that's just not fucking fair.